There's a strange way that money changes your life that has almost nothing to do with looking rich. Because most of the time, financial progress does not feel like some dramatic movie scene. It does not always look like a new house, a luxury car, or some perfect life where you never worry again. Sometimes it looks much quieter than that. It looks like checking your bank account without your stomach dropping. It looks like paying an unexpected bill without everything falling apart. It looks like saying no to something because you actually have options, not because you're trapped. It looks like finally sleeping a little better because your life does not feel quite as fragile as it used to. And that is what net worth really measures. Not how impressively your life looks from the outside, but how much financial ground that you actually have underneath you. And today we're going to be talking about what life can feel like at different net worth levels. Negative net worth, $0, $10,000, and $100,000. And not just the math, but the emotional experience around it. Because money is not only numbers on a screen, it affects how we think, it affects how we feel, and how we make decisions. A lot of people hear the term net worth and immediately tune out because it sounds like something that only wealthy people need to think about. But in reality, net worth is actually one of the simplest financial measurements there is. At its core, your net worth is what you own minus what you owe. If you have $10,000 in savings but $15,000 in debt, your net worth is negative $5,000. If you have no debt and no savings, your net worth is $0. If you have money saved, investments growing, and less debt pulling you backwards, your net worth starts becoming positive. That does not mean that it tells you the whole story of your life. It does not measure your character, your work ethic, your intelligence, or your value as a person. But it does give you a snapshot of your financial position. And that snapshot matters because it shows whether your money is mostly being used to recover from the past, survive the present, or build for the future. The first level is negative net worth. And honestly, this is where a lot of people start. Negative net worth means that you owe more than you own. Maybe it's credit card debt, maybe it's student loans, maybe it's a car loan, medical debt, or just a mix of everything. And emotionally, negative net worth can feel heavy because it creates this quiet sense that you are working hard but still moving backward. You get paid, but part of that paycheck already belongs to somebody else. And before you even decide what to do with your money, debt has already claimed a portion of it. And that can feel incredibly frustrating and discouraging because you may feel responsible. You may be trying. You may be working long hours and making sacrifices, but when interest, payments, and past financial decisions keep following you around, progress can feel painfully slow. It's like trying to fill a bucket when there's a leak at the bottom. You are putting in effort, but water continues to escape. And the hardest part about negative net worth is not actually the debt itself, it's also the mental pressure that comes along with it. You may feel guilty every time that you spend money, even on normal things. You may avoid looking at balances because you already know that it will feel bad. You may feel embarrassed, even if the debt came from survival, emergencies, or circumstances outside of your control. You may start believing that financial progress is something that other people get to experience, but not you. And this is where people get stuck emotionally, because shame does not usually lead to better decisions. Shame usually leads to avoidance, and avoidance keeps the problem vague. When money feels vague, it feels scarier than it actually is. One of the most useful first steps at this level is not trying to fix everything immediately. It is simply getting clear. Write down what you owe, write down the interest rates, write down the minimum payments, write down what money comes in and what money goes out. Not to punish yourself, to turn the monster in your head into numbers on a page. Because numbers can be worked with, but fear cannot. And quick disclaimer, this video is for entertainment purposes only and should not be considered financial advice. Always do your own research and come to your own conclusions. At negative net worth, the goal is not to look successful. The goal is to stop the bleeding and start creating some stability. What that looks like is building a small emergency fund first, even while paying debt down, so that every unexpected expense does not push you deeper into the hole. That could also mean forcing some extra payments on high-interest debt once the basics are covered. That might mean calling lenders, understanding options, negotiating bills, increasing your income, or just simplifying expenses temporarily while you start to rebuild. And the key is to stop thinking of the stage as a personal failure. Think of it more as a financial cleanup. You are not trying to build the entire house yet. You are clearing the ground, and that matters. Because once debt starts to shrink, something changes in you emotionally. You begin to feel less trapped by the past. And the next level is $0 net worth. And this one is more interesting than people realize, because mathematically, zero sounds like nothing, but emotionally, zero can actually be a major turning point for people. If your net worth is zero, it means that you no longer owe more than you own. You may not feel wealthy, you may not even feel comfortable, but you are no longer underwater, and that is meaningful. It is the moment where you stop being pulled backward and begin standing on flat ground. For some people, reaching zero net worth might be the first time in years where every dollar they earn is not immediately fighting against the past. That does not mean that life is easy. Bills still exist, rent still exists, groceries cost money, but psychologically, zero can feel like a reset, not a finish line. The danger at zero net worth is that it can feel underwhelming. You might think, I worked this hard just to have nothing, but that is the wrong way to look at it. Zero is not nothing when you used to be negative. Zero means that you climbed out. Zero means that the hole is behind you, or at least much smaller than it used to be. Zero means that your next dollar can start working for your future instead of constantly repairing your past. At this stage, the practical focus is usually building a basic foundation. A small emergency fund, a simple budget that gives every dollar a job, a habit of paying yourself first even if the amount is small, a plan to avoid sliding backwards into high-interest debt. Because zero is powerful, but it can also be fragile. Without a cushion, one emergency can pull you back under. So the goal here is not to rush into complexity. The goal here is to build a financial floor. A good way to think about zero net worth is like standing at the shoreline after swimming through rough water. You are not at the destination yet, but your feet are finally touching the actual ground. And that changes everything. Because when your feet are on the ground, you can make decisions differently. You can breathe, you can look around, you can actually plan. That is what this stage is really about. Learning to operate from a little bit less panic. This is where automatic savings can help. Even if you start small, setting aside money consistently begins to train your brain to believe that your future deserves funding. It also builds trust in yourself. And that trust is important because many people who have struggled financially do not just need more money. They need evidence that their situation can actually change. Small, repeated actions create that evidence. The next level is $10,000 net worth. And this is where life may not look dramatically different from the outside, but it can start to feel very different on the inside. $10,000 is not enough to make somebody financially independent. It does not mean that every problem disappears, but it can definitely create some breathing room. And breathing room is super underrated. At this stage, an unexpected bill may still be annoying, but it might not be devastating. A car repair might still hurt, but it's not going to completely derail your life. A slow month, a medical expense, a family emergency, or a temporary disruption may be something that you can actually handle instead of something that sends you into a panic. That is a major psychological upgrade, because financial stress is not just about how much money you have, it's about how close you feel to the edge. $10,000 can start moving you away from that edge. At this level, you begin to experience one of the most important benefits of personal finance: options. Not unlimited options, but more than you had before. You may have the option to avoid using a credit card for emergencies, the option to take a little more time when making a career decision, the option to buy something necessary without turning it into a crisis, the option to sleep better because you have a cushion. And that is the part of money that people do not always talk about. Money does not just buy things. Sometimes it buys emotional space, the ability to pause. It buys a little distance between you and desperation. And once you experience that, it becomes easier to understand why financial stability matters so much. Not because money makes you better, but because instability is exhausting. At $10,000 net worth, the practical focus often shifts to pure survival structure. This is a great stage to think about your emergency fund more seriously. How much would make you feel stable? 1 month of expenses, 3 months, 6 months eventually? The answer depends on your life, your income stability, your family responsibilities, and also your risk level. But the point is to start building intentional protection. This is also where investing may start becoming more consistent, especially through retirement accounts like 401ks, Roth IRAs, or traditional IRAs, depending on what is available and appropriate for your situation. But the main key here is balance. You do not want every dollar to be locked away for the future if your present is still fragile. But you also do not want every dollar sitting still forever if you have the ability to invest for long-term growth. This is where personal finance becomes less about one perfect answer and more about building a system that actually fits your real life. $10,000 net worth also introduces a new challenge: lifestyle creep. After being stressed for a long time, it is natural to want relief when things improve. You may feel like you earned a few upgrades, and honestly, some improvements in quality of life can be healthy. But the goal is not to punish yourself forever. But the danger is allowing every increase in stability to immediately become a new expense. Because if every raise, every bonus, every bit of progress gets absorbed into lifestyle upgrades, your net worth may stop growing even though your income has improved. So at this stage, one of the most helpful habits is deciding in advance what happens when more money comes in. Maybe part of every raise goes towards investing. Maybe part of it can be enjoyed guilt-free. But that balance actually matters a lot, because sustainable progress usually includes both responsibility and room to actually live. The next level is $100,000 net worth. And this is where things begin to feel very, very different. Again, it does not mean that you are rich. It does not mean that you can stop working. It does not mean that life becomes effortless. But $100,000 is often the first level where people begin to truly feel a power of momentum. Because by this point, you are not just trying to survive each month. You are starting to build a real financial mass. Savings, investment, home equity, retirement accounts, or other assets may now be contributing to your overall position. And emotionally, that can create a different relationship with the future. You may still have some stress, but the future no longer feels completely empty. You can look ahead and see that something is forming. A foundation, a cushion, a path forward. $100,000 matters because compounding starts to become more visible. When you have $1,000 invested, a 5-10% change may not feel like much, but when your investments grow, the movement becomes more noticeable. That can be exciting, but it also requires emotional maturity, because markets move in both directions, up and down. At this stage, people often need to learn patience at a deeper level. The goal is not to panic when things fall or become reckless when things rise. The goal is to keep thinking in the long term. Financial growth is rarely a straight line. It's more like a road with hills, turns, delays, and rough patches. The people who make progress are not often the ones who avoid every hump. They are the ones that keep moving with the plan. At $100,000 net worth, your decisions begin to carry a lot more weight. Small habits still matter, but bigger strategic choices matter too. How much are you investing consistently? Are you protecting yourself with enough emergency savings? Are you avoiding unnecessary high-interest debt? Are you actually growing your income? Are you keeping lifestyle inflation under control? Are you thinking about retirement accounts, taxes, insurance, and long-term goals with more intention? This is where it becomes useful to be more organized. Not obsessive, but organized. Knowing where your accounts are, knowing what your money is doing, knowing how much you are contributing, knowing what your next financial priority is. Because as your net worth grows, clarity becomes even more important. A messy system can still create stress even when numbers improve. But maybe the biggest emotional change at $100,000 is that you start to realize that financial peace is not only about a final number, it's about direction. When you were negative, the goal was to escape. At 0, the goal was stability. At 10,000, the goal was breathing room. At 100,000, the goal becomes building with intention. And that is an entirely different way to live. You are no longer asking, how do I get through the month? You start asking, what kind of life am I building over the next 10 years? That question can feel very empowering, but it can also feel sobering, because more money does not automatically create wisdom. It simply gives your decisions more impact. And this is the real lesson across every net worth level. Your net worth changes your options, but your habits shape what happens next. Somebody can be negative and start building better patterns. Somebody can reach 10,000 and still sabotage themselves. Someone can reach 100,000 and lose direction if they stop being intentional. The number matters, but the system also matters, because money tends to magnify behavior. If you are intentional, more money can create more stability. If you are impulsive, more money can simply create more expensive problems. That is why financial growth has to be practical and psychological. You are not building accounts, you are building decision making. So wherever you are right now, try not to use net worth as a weapon against yourself. Rather, use it as a map. Negative net worth means that you are working to clean up the past. 0 means that you are building a stable floor. 10,000 means that you're creating breathing room. And 100,000 means that you are beginning to build real momentum. None of these stages define your worth as a person. They simply show what kind of financial pressure that you may be carrying and what your next steps might be. If you are negative, get clear and begin reducing the leak. If you're at 0, protect your foundation. If you're at 10,000, build structure and consistency. And if you're at 100,000, stay intentional and keep your future aligned with your values. That is how progress becomes real. And if this video helped you think about net worth in a different way, take a second and like the video and leave a comment sharing which stage you're currently working towards next. And subscribe if you're new here. My goal with this channel is to make personal finance feel calmer, more understandable, and more realistic for everyday people trying to build a better future. And with that, that is going to conclude the content of today's video. But thank you guys so much for watching, and like always, I will see you guys later.